Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome once again to Rest Academy. So, tonight we are going to make some complex stuff simple. So, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share. So, tonight we are going to look at change of subjects, right? This is a very simple concept in math, but some people kind of find it difficult, right, to do it. And when you miss things like change of subject in math, your whole life in math is going to be very difficult for you, and you're never going to love math. So I'm going to make this video very quick so that we can do other things, right? So I'm going to look at about 3 or 4 instances of change of subject. So change of subject really is actually, let's say you have something like 3x plus 5 7y. So change of subject simply means that the subject of an equation is the number of variable that is standing alone, right, on the side of the equal sign. So you can see that 7y is standing alone. So it means that the subject of this equation is 7y. It is a focus of the equation. That is the subject. So we're going to have a question like make x the subject. So it means that we want x to stand alone on one side of the equal sign, right? That makes x the subject. So what you're going to do is that you first start by clearing the room, right? Make sure that x stands alone, right? And then so we are going to take this 5 one at a time, right? So we're going to take 5, cross it to the other side of the equal sign, right? And then put it in the head that anytime that a value crosses the equal sign, it gets negated. So it means that if the value is positive, it becomes negative, and if the value is negative, it becomes positive. So we take 5, we cross it to the other side. So we have 3x is equal to 7y. So y becomes 5 becomes negative 5. So the question says make x the subject, not 3x. So whenever two values are multiplying and you want to separate them, you divide. So I tell you that division is the opposite of multiplication, right? So we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x, right? We want x to stand alone, and here we have 3 here attached to the x, so we want to get rid of the 3. So what we're going to do is that we divide both sides, not each term, both sides by 3. So we divide the side by 3 and divide the side by 3, right? So you can see that 3 here cancels 3, and you have x to be equal to 7y minus 5 all over 3, right? So that is the first instance. So you put it in the head that when they are multiplying, you divide both sides by the coefficient of x, and then whenever a value crosses the equal sign, it gets negated. So it means positive values become negative and negative values become positive, right? So there's also one very popular instance where you have the inclusion of fractions. So let's say you have something like 3x minus 7 all over 3 is equal to 2y plus 2. So if you're asked to make x the subject of the equation, and then there is an inclusion of a fraction, right? So what you do is that you're going to find the LCM of all the fractions in the equation. So you realize that this is over 1, this is over 1, right? So we now have 3 denominators. We have 3, 1, and 1. So you find the LCM of the 3 numbers. So over here LCM becomes 3, and you multiply each term When you say a term, so this is one term, this is one term, this is one term. So you multiply each term of the equation by the LCM. So over here, we are going to multiply this side by 3, right? So the LCM we have is 3, this by 3, and this also by 3. So when you get here, so this 3 will cancel this 3, right? So you have 3x minus 7 is equal to, so 3 times 2y will give us 6y plus 2 times 3 will give us what? 6. So now you've broken it up down to the first step. So we have to make x stand alone. So we take negative 7, we drop it to the other side of the equal sign. So you get 3x is equal to 6y plus 6. So when negative 7 comes to the other side, it becomes positive. So you have positive 7. Okay. So I'm going to continue the solution at the top. Yeah. So now you have 3x is equal to 6y. So 6, 7, you can add them. So 6 plus 7 gives us 13. Right. Still, x is not alone. You have 3 here. So you divide both sides by the coefficient of x. So you divide this side by 3 and this side by 3. So this cancels this. And then this x equal to 6y plus 13 over 3 becomes our final answer. Right. So when you have something like this, there's a tricky part normally in objectives. Yeah. So when you have something like 6y plus 13 over 3, right, it's the same as 6y over 3 plus 13 over 3, right? Each term has the denominator, so you can split the fraction into 2. So if it is in objective, they can do something like this and then simplify this. So 3 here, 1, 3 here, 2. So simplify it to something like 2y plus 13 on 3, and then it's basically the same thing, right? Yeah. So there are going to also be instances where you are going to have brackets. So you are just going to expand the bracket first and you just apply all that I've taught you today. So don't forget, when any value crosses the equal sign, it becomes negated. So when it's positive and it crosses, it becomes negative. When it's negative and it crosses, it becomes what? Positive. And whenever you have a value multiplying the variable and you want to get rid of it, you divide both sides by the coefficient of that variable. Remember, divide both sides. Both sides. Okay. So we're going to also have issues with square roots, right? So whenever you have a square root, so let's say you have square root of x plus 3 is equal to 2y. So you will solve an equation, you get to a point like this. You have a square root. So you have to get rid of the square root, right? So you can see that this square root covers, so it's x plus 3. So you can't just take the 3 and then dump it, right? So what you do is that to remove square root, you're going to square both sides of the equation, not each term. You're going to square both sides. So you square the left side and you also square the right side. So even if there's something like 3 here, I'm going to square all of them together. You're going to square both sides. So you square the left side and the right side. So the square will cancel the square roots. So you have x plus 3 is equal to this. So when you solve this, you're going to get 4y squared plus 12y plus 9, right? So you take 3 to the other side, you're going to have 4y squared plus 12y plus 9 minus 3. So plus becomes minus, and you solve to get your final answer. So in summary, square both sides to remove square roots, multiply through by the LCM to take away fractions, divide by the coefficient to remove multiplications, and then whenever a value crosses the equal sign, it gets negated. Don't forget that these are the basics you're going to need for all your change of subjects, and change of subject is literally in every part of math you're going to do. So don't forget to keep up. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then share. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.